I
Okay.
think most of it was pretty simple this week, or a lot simpler.
Yeah. I'm nervous for last week. Last week's I don't remember, and exams this week.
I know I forget from one week to the next. So yeah, I need to go through and do my note card to put all the equations in, like to hopefully refresh my memory. But
yeah, just go through that PowerPoint and get those.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so we're recording. We ready to get rolling?
Yeah.
Okay. So I got A for the first one.
That's what I got.
Okay. So primary economic function of the financial system is to C.
I got D.
Oh, match one savings with another one person's investment.
But I could be wrong. Let's see.
I could be wrong, definitely.
I got page 13-1 on this one.
I think you're right.
I know some of them, again, it didn't say exactly what they were, and so I was kind of making guesses on some of these.
Match one person's savings with another person's investment. Let's see. Because it's just like to match the savers and the borrowers.
Right, because you're saving money, and then those savings turn around and lend to others. So I guess it's how you define consumption and capital.
Yeah. Well, because consumption and capital expenditures really doesn't make sense. So yeah, I would go D. Or
D.
Yeah, what's the one you said? Yeah, D.
All right, D. All right.
Okay, so the amount of revenue a firm receives for the sale of its product minus its cost of production is measured by its accountants and the firms.
I have B. Oh wait, I have A.
Earnings.
Double check that.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see. So it just says earnings. A corporation's earnings or account profit is the amount of revenue it receives.
Okay. So the bond market.
That is in 13.1a. I think it has a list at the bottom of the page.
13.1a.
I think it's financial markets.
Bond market stuff.
So like at the very top says the two most important financial markets. So the bond market, the stock market.
Yeah, so it's a financial market.
So
it's C, right? As is the stock market, because
yeah.
Okay.
5. Which advantages do mutual funds claim to provide? I got A for that one.
Yeah, but to skilled professional money managers. So compared to stocks, bonds offer the holder lower risk and lower potential return.
Yeah.
The bond market, the stock market, banks, pension funds are financial systems. The markets.
7. I got C. Institutions. See, that's 13.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm looking at my PowerPoint here. It says financial systems. The title is financial. Okay.
8. Other things being constant when a firm sells new shares of stock. Let's see, I got C. The demand for stock increases and the price increases. So I think I'm guessing on that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it increases the appearance or the wealth of the company, so they start charging more, right?
Yeah. I think so too. But also the supply increases too, which confuses me.
let's see. I have 13. Let's see.
So yeah, I think it's between A and C.
All right, so at the bottom of 13.1a says the prices at which shares trade on stock exchanges are determined by the supply and demand. Because stock represents ownership, the corporation, the demand of stock, and thus its price reflects the people's perception of the corporation's future profitability. When people become optimistic about a company's future, they raise their demand for its stock and thereby bid up the price of a share of stock. That's where I found that, or that's where I
Oh, okay.
came up with mine. Conversely, when people's expectations of a company prospects decline, the price of a share falls.
Okay.
So that's where I went with demand.
Got it. Yeah, I'll go with that.
9. Compared to short-term bonds, other things the same. Long-term bonds generally have, and I have A, more risk so that they pay higher interest rates.
That's what I would do too. So closed economy, it's not engaging in international trade, therefore net exports NX are 0.
That's right.
Okay, so now we're adding. So assume the following information for an imaginary closed economy. So this government is running, so we just minus the taxes by the purchases.
Yeah.
So will it be surplus?
Deficit, because they're spending more than they're taking in.
Yes, okay.
So C on that one.
C, okay. Got it. So Mandy purchases 68.2 shares of mutual funds for $1,500. Mandy's purchase of these shares contributes $1,500 to which magnitude of the identity? Would it be I?
That's my first guess. Is it's an investment.
It's a mutual fund.
Yeah, because I think it's an investment.
So B.
Yeah, so I'm about 60% confident on that one.
Yeah.
Could be anything. All right. 13. For an economy that engages in international trade, GDP is divided into 4 components. Which of the following is not one of those components? And I have B, national savings.
Yeah. Because there's a national savings like included in one of them.
Yeah, I think that's part of the GDP or something.
Yeah, it's like included in I or something. Yeah. Okay. So according to the definition of national saving and public saving, if Y, C, and G remain the same, an increase in taxes would raise national saving, but would it lower public saving?
I've got D because it's the Y, C, and G are all on the same side
So
for the savings. Like national savings is equal to Y, C, and G, or Y minus C and G. So if they remain unchanged, then the national savings being changed. But the public saving,
so national saving is Y minus C minus G.
So it's, let's see.
But how that?
So the S equals Y minus C minus G. So if that, and those are the 3 elements that don't change. So the savings would stay the same.
Oh yeah, because so yeah.
So it's the other one that changes the public savings. Public savings is T minus G. So if there's a taxes increase, so in a tax, I think it sounds backwards, but I don't think so. So it's T minus G is the public savings.
Yeah.
So if you raise T, then you're going to have an increase in public savings. But that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because we pay.
Yeah, I think the terms make it more confusing.
But yeah, it's true. So public saving, it raises that, but leaves national saving unchanged.
Yeah, that's the way I read that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, in a closed economy, private saving is. Is there a definition in here?
Yeah.
The
13.2a.
PowerPoint says the portion of household income that is not used for consumption or paying taxes.
So the leftovers, so it's A.
So in national income accounting, we use which of the following pairs of terms interchangeably?
That's C.
Corporate.
Yeah, corporate saving and private saving. I think it's yeah, I'm guessing.
Okay. Public saving and
Wait,
government.
that question is different than in the list. So in the questions, it says in a national income accounting. Let's see, we use which of the following pairs interchangeably. C is savings and national savings. On the quiz, it's corporate saving and private savings. That's different. But the other ones are the same investment. Feels like someone made a change. Because in the reading, it was like savings or national savings. Yeah, so the amount called national savings or just savings. But that's weird. So the quiz questions that you have to study is different than this one.
So I think it's D. Because in the PowerPoint on page 7, it says public saving, and then tax revenue less government spending is public saving.
Okay, works for me.
So if the nominal interest is 7% and the rate of inflation is 3%, then real interest is B.
4%, yeah.
Oh, this is where it gets fun. Okay. So starting at point A, a change in tax law that encourages households to save more would likely cause. So that causes a supply in loanable funds because savings.
So yeah, to encourage household savings, the interest rate would go up. So it's going to be E or C, and then when it goes up, it increases the loanable funds. So I got C, or actually B, point C.
Point C.
Yeah, I think
So
there's a done.
why? But actually, okay.
So if
Demand for it's just the demand line instead of the supply line.
because it's
The concept
they're all quantity. So it's because when you increase the interest rates, you're encouraging people to save, and when they save, then the loanable funds increase because more people are putting into or investing into savings.
So the
So it would jump from 100 to 125 because now they have more funds to disperse or to loan because more people are saving and putting money into it. if there's a diagram in the book.
So wouldn't it shift the supply to the right and then? Well, no, I don't know if rates would fall because.
So when they are low on funds, they increase interest rates because they want to encourage savings.
Yeah.
So since the tax laws are encourage households to save, so we know the interest rate's going up.
Okay.
So if the interest rate goes up, then the loanable funds increase.
It causes a movement along the supply line and then a shift in demand.
Yeah, shift in demand. Yeah.
Okay. So that's one thing I got to study more.
Shift. That's right. The shift in the supply increases with the demand.
Okay. It shows loanable funds, the market for closed economy. So starting at point A, that enactment of an investment tax credit would likely cause. This one's in the PowerPoint. So the tax incentive for savings increase the supply of loanable funds. So that'd be the same thing, which reduces the equilibrium interest rate and increases the equilibrium quantity of loanable funds. So it causes shift in the supply and a movement downward on the demand. So that one might be D, or the point D, I mean.
Point D. No. Yeah, that works for me because this one's different because it's businesses and not people, right?
Oh, yeah, so one investment incentive. Well, is this an investment or a tax one?
Well, this is a investment tax credit. So it's one of the, it's a policy investment incentive. So let's see, 13.3C. Congress passed a tax reform aimed at making investment more attractive, called an investment tax credit. And it gives a tax advantage to any firm building a new factory or buying a piece of equipment. So let's see, in the book, it says if the passage of an investment tax encouraged firms to invest more, the demands for the loanable funds would increase. As a result, the equilibrium rate would rise and higher interest rates would stimulate savings. So the diagram shows it's the same as we just did, so it would be C, but that's if we're in the right spot.
So there's a movement. So does that mean it can be the same as 18, can it?
See, I don't know. This one again, I'm trying to fight what the brain says because it's if you're trying to increase savings, then it would be a tax increase. But here's a tax credit. But why would a tax credit increase the tax rate to stimulate savings? That doesn't make sense to me. It's like the opposite of what the other one is, but that has the same result.
Mm-hmm.
But and then like 20.
This one I would classify as an investment incentive, which would just keep the supply where it is and move it as a D, I think. So this one I'd say point C too. Just judging off what the
Okay.
point says. But then that makes me question 18 too, but I don't know. Maybe it could be the same. I don't know.
Same for different reasons. I don't know.
To save, which would be a saving incentive.
Well, I'm more confident with 18 than 19.
19.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I mean, 18. I'm a lot more confident that that's how that works. But 19. Let's see. Let's see. 20 is like the opposite. So I think 19 and 20 are kind of tied together.
Suppose that Congress were to repeal an investment tax credit. What would happen in the market for loanable funds? They're going to repeal it. So it's kind of the opposite effect.
So it's the opposite. So whatever we do on the 19.
So lower demand and be a movement. So demand would shift left.
Yeah, so I put D for that one. It's a loanable shift. So if we're shifting left.
Yeah, there's just a movement on the supply, so it wouldn't shift.
So the 19 would be point C.
Because here's what the PowerPoint says. So going back to 18, on slide 26, if you have the PowerPoint on. Well, no, sorry, on 25. So a tax law that encourages households to save, which would be a tax incentive, I think, for savings, increase the supply of loanable funds, which shifts the supply line to the right, and it causes a movement downward on the demand.
So maybe 18 is A, goes to D?
Yeah, according to that point.
So that, I mean, because that shifts the supply to the right.
Yeah, and then moves
it moves it down.
Yeah, to D.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Which it kind of goes like, yeah, I agree with you. It kind of just goes against like what the brain says. But so does everything in macro. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So change 18 to A.
I don't know. That's why I'm just like. Do you have the PowerPoint? Do you see that? Do you think they're the same thing there?
It's still loading. Give me a second. What page is it on?
25.
Oh, I don't have that downloaded page. So did you go through the books, or you do most of your study through the PowerPoint?
Actually, on the train every morning, I read the book, and I have the voice read to me, then follow along. The train is kind of hard, and then I just use this as references. I actually don't really read the PowerPoint. I just use it as a reference.
Well, I like how it's broken up, so it's easier to see.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. One more time. What was the page?
25.
Tax incentives for savings. Increase supply. Yeah, this one has a diagram. The other one doesn't have a diagram. It just has a word. So yeah, I'm okay with that. Let's change that to D.
Okay. Okay. Should we just turn it in?
Or wait, it was or A. So it's point D.
Yeah, point D for A. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Last two. Still an A.
Still an A?
Still an A. I wish I had like immediate feedback so that I can see.
Yeah, still an A. Cool. Cool with that.
All right. Cool. So next week's Thanksgiving. I'm still going to be here on Tuesday. Is that still work for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. We'll see you next week.
Sure.
Bye.